So if you don't know, Keaton Jones is a little Caucasian boy, 11 years old, who went viral a couple days ago. Over the last weekend, he was getting bullied. I personally didn't watch the video. I actually haven't even watched the whole video. And I just didn't want to see it. I saw it on my timeline a lot. And it was Keaton Jones' video, and the Daniel Shaver guy had gotten killed by the cops. And I'm tired of being sad. So I don't always watch all this stuff because sometimes I spend a lot of my time on the internet like most people, and sometimes it's just too much bad stuff, and I was just like, this kid, I'm about to be sad, and I don't want to be sad. I feel bad for this kid. I got bullied a lot. I don't want to watch the video. So I actually still to this day haven't watched more than the first like seconds that automatically play when you scroll. Like I saw it a lot on Twitter, a lot on Instagram, and whatever automatic scroll, and I was just like, nope, not today. I just didn't feel like watching it. Okay. So, and then, the story went viral first, and everybody was like posting Keaton and bullying's wrong and blah, blah, blah. And all that stuff happened. And then it was like the celebrities started coming out. I saw pictures of him with, Titans, and I saw Jamel Hill was like, hey, come to ESPN on my dime, bullying sucks. Like there was this outpouring of love and support. And I was, like, cool, man. That little kid got bullied. His mom recorded it, and, everybody heard about it, and good for this little kid. Like it got all this publicity, and, good for him. He gets to meet these celebrities, and, bullying sucks and all that stuff. So that was that. So then the internet did what the internet does. And some people started digging a little bit further. Just a little bit further. So then I started seeing, your mom's, the boy's mom's is on some racist stuff. And I was like, what? And then there was this picture of her with the Confederate flag. And then her or him, like a family. I'm sorry, my nose is itching. The family had Confederate flags. He was holding up an American flag. A couple of them were holding up American flags and Confederate flags. And then she was like, she had said some anti-Black Lives Matter stuff. And then it was like, oh, snap. There's trouble brewing. And she deleted the picture. But as my father told me, once you post something on the internet, you can never delete it. You just, that thing been screenshot and posted everywhere. So then the celebrities were doing the Homer Simpson into the bushes like, oh, snap. I'm going to go back into the bushes. Then this MMA fighter, I don't know his name, MMA fighter was like, yo, I want to invite Keaton to this fight that I'm having in LA. And then the lady, allegedly, the mom was like, nah, how about you hit this GoFundMe? Because apparently somebody had set up a GoFundMe account for them. This person that wasn't their family set up a GoFundMe account, and the person was just like, look, I don't even really know why I'm doing this, but, I felt bad. I was moved to help, so I'm setting up this GoFundMe account. We're going to give this to this boy to just, help. And people was hitting it with to the tune of $55,000. No small token. So the mom was like, nah, we good off LA. How about you hit the GoFundMe? And the dude was like, why? Why would you do that? And then in the text, she was like, we got to stand up together against the predator. And he was like, he had some choice words for her, and he made a video about it. And he was like, yo, this is like super weak. Mom is out here just trying to get rich. I don't see the point. And now there's a whole bunch of the anti-mom stuff was all over the internet yesterday. Once she hit like 59,000, it was like his mom's going to the bank with this money and she finna cash out and blah, blah, blah. And that's what y'all get. And now the story on the internet is, this is what y'all get for supporting this. And then now there's, black people who are like, when, I want to say her name was Ashanti Davis, but I'm not certain, so forgive me if I'm wrong. But a little black girl had got bullied and committed suicide. So there was this like anti-support, like don't support him if you didn't support her, and then on the whole other side, there was I've seen a couple of viral videos of black people being like, and this is what's wrong with America. This is what's wrong with the black people. White people don't be coming out looking for us, but we always want to run and look out for white people. And y'all want to say all lives matter is weak, but y'all all lives matter in this situation. That's what I saw this morning. So I was just like, whoa. There's just a lot going on here. So that's all the information I have. Now I'm going to tell you my thoughts, kind of in order. And this is just a random stream of consciousness because I haven't said anything about it and I don't know why. I just didn't feel like it. But today I got time, Cass. Here's kind of my stream of consciousness. Obviously, bullying is bad and wrong and we hate it. I got bullied as a kid. One of my first thoughts was like, man, $60,000? Where was GoFundMe when Fat Tony was beating me up every day? Every day. I didn't have front teeth in my mouth as a kid, so I was snaggletooth, big head. I've heard every big head joke in the world. I didn't get nothing but pain and suffering. When I was a kid, you know what they said about bullying, getting beat up? It builds character. I'm glad we don't think like that because it destroys character if you want to be honest. Okay, my character was, honestly, in a way, I'm funny because I kept getting beat up. So you turn to comedy. I turned the comedy to like, hey man, why you want to fight your boy? Come on, man, why you want to, you in those fists again? Punching, you always want to punch my face. How about you don't do that and let's do something else? So I have avoided a lot of fights because of that, but I absolutely got bullied. I remember when I was in 5th grade, moved to a new school. I was a military kid, so we moved around a lot. And some moves were good, some were bad. It was always worse when we moved to a place and we didn't go to school on the military base. I usually got bullied more at those places because when you go to a military base school that's on base, there's a lot of new kids. They're always coming in and out and stuff like that. But when you go to a school where they've been friends with each other all the days and all that stuff and you're new, man, when I got there, this one kid, Paul, my first day, the kid washed his hands, left all the soap on his on his hands, walked by my desk and just did that and rubbed the soap in my eye. And I was like, what? Why would you do that? My eyes are burning. What made you do that, Paul? Okay. Now, Paul, still friends with me on Facebook, has been in and out of jail. Can't keep a job. So, hey, how about you wash your life up, Paul? Didn't work out for you. Huh? Yeah, I never really talked about this openly. Didn't really work out for you, did it, Paul? Huh? Didn't really work out, huh? Been in and out of the judicial system. So, hey, why don't you wash your hands when you go work for minimum wage? Why don't you do that, okay? When I call an Uber, I want you to pick me up, okay? I'm sorry, guys, I really haven't talked about this. I know that was wrong. That was mean. But I really never forgave Paul for that. We ended up being cool later on in life. Not friends, but cool so that he would not do that. But his life sucks now. So, also, when I was a kid, it was common parenting. My parents didn't really do this, but it was common parenting to be like, if you get beat up, you better go back and fight them the next day. Why? Obviously, I'm not winning the fights. I've been in a lot of fights in my life. I am like 2 for 79. One fight, I fought this kid named Rick. I punched him. It didn't work. I kicked him in the balls and I ran. I probably was disqualified in the fight, but I'm counting it as a win. Okay. Another time I fought this kid named Marquise in front of his house, and his mom was like, beat him up, Marquise. And I used to fight like this, and I used to bounce, and I was jumping, and I punched him in the face. Pow! And she was like, beat him up, Marquise, or I'm gonna beat you up. And I was just like, pow, pow. And then he fell, and I ran home. Okay, those were the 2 wins. The rest, straight losses. I remember I tried to bully an Asian kid one time. Okay, I was pushing him. He had glasses, and I was like, look at you. He was a heavy kid. I was like, fat Asian. And all I remember is him doing this. Like, I saw his body go like that. And the next thing I know, I was picking myself up off the ground. I was with a friend of mine, and I was like, yo, what happened? And the dude had roundhouse me. He was like, yo, he roundhouse kicked you, bro. I didn't even know his leg could get up like that. And he roundhouse kicked me. I hit the ground. And when I got up, he was 3 blocks down the street. That was my last attempt at bullying. I was like, you know what? Who did he hit me? It was just like Rush Hour, and Chris Tucker was like, which one of y'all kicked me? I knew it was him. I just didn't know how he did it. And that was the last time I bullied anybody. That was it. I was in 2nd grade. And I was like, you know what? This really ain't the life for me. First of all, I can't fight. Second of all, I didn't even see that coming. So, no. So, back to my thoughts on Keaton Jones. The thing about the internet is crazy is this all happens so fast. And we have this, like, the internet has this mob mentality. You see a story, you're moved one way or another, and usually without all the facts, people jump in. You know, you're moved by that. Like the video, I imagine is very touching. You feel bad for him. It reminds you of you being that age and that happening, or somebody doing that to you, or you seeing it and you share it and you're like, yo, this sucks, it's whatever. And we don't really do any research because it really, like, I don't know if it's your first inclination to be like, well, let me check this kid's history and his mom's history and his dad's history to find out if it's okay for me to support him. That's not your first inclination. You see the video and you're like, dang, that sucks. You know, whatever. But then somebody, I don't know who or why or where, but somebody always digs a little deeper. And then it's like, well, I'm supporting a kid whose mom is racist or has a Confederate flag. And now you're conflicted because that, you know, who she is doesn't mean he didn't get bullied. And then people were like, well, maybe he was calling kids the N-word and he deserved it. And I'm just like, is this where we are in a society? Is this where we are? Like, we have to do detective work to see if a person is worthy of our sympathy. Okay. And I don't know how you feel, and I'm just talking out how I feel. I'm not like, I don't have an ironclad stance on this. I'm just really saying my thoughts. But I know it sucks. It's a weird thing. Like, when you go viral, your whole life is exposed. And when people, I'm gonna tell you what turned the page. When money's involved, then it's a new situation. Because it's like, bullying sucks, yes. But what is the money going to go to? That's when things turn. I think probably the GoFundMe is what triggered the search. Because it's like, okay, everybody's sad. I get that. But $50,000? Hold on. Who's finna get $50,000? Because you know the kid's 11. So if people are giving $50,000, let me go see who this money is going to. Then you go down and it's like, they finna get this money, and for what? Like, is it to start a foundation or whatever? So apparently in the video with the MMA fighter, the mom was like, well, I'm a single mom and Christmas is around the corner. And the dude was like, what? Like, that sucks, but what does that have to do with your kid, you know, getting bullied? Like, you know, I grew up, you know, with a single mom for a lot of Christmases. Then my mom got married and we were still broke. So I know what it's like to have sucky Christmases. Like, don't get me wrong, it sucks. The worst thing ever is when you go out, and when we were kids used to still go outside. And on Christmas morning around 9 or 10 o'clock, all the kids go outside and show off their new toys. And as a little poor kid, that was the worst day. Because you just got to go outside and be like, oh, you got that? Nice, nice. Oh, you got the Talk Boy from Home Alone? Wow, that is cool. A new bike. Year after year, you got a new bike. Amazing. So, like, that day sucks. And it sucks that she's a single mom and he doesn't get the Christmas she wants or whatever. But does that equal this bullying money going to your Christmas? Maybe they just want to make, like, him feel better for having gotten bullied. So I think that's when the internet, and then it's like, if you give, you're supporting a racist. Then it's like, well, you done supported a racist before you even got all the facts. And it's just like, it's so much. Sometimes the internet is so much. And the thing is, I'm not even here to tell you how to feel, because it's like, I was talking about this at work yesterday. This is like an Inside Out, the Pixar movie about feelings, where when you're a kid, everything's joy, happiness, sadness, anger. But then as you get, you become an adult, there's more conflicting things. And that's what this situation is. It's the conflicting emotions of bullying, sad, it sucks, I feel bad for this kid, his mom's racist. What does money have to do this? Why do they deserve money? What about black kids? What about this? And Tony Baker said this, and I thought it was interesting. It was a fantastic point. I thought this too, but he kind of put it more eloquently than me. He was like, he hates when people try to one-up tragedies. And, Keaton Jones got bullied, and somebody's like, well, what about this kid who got bullied? Why didn't you support this? What about this? Well, Hurricane Harvey is happening. Well, what about Africa? Did you tell something in Africa, or something in Africa is happening? What about Asia? Did you donate? Well, there's an earthquake in Mexico and you support it, but did you support Indonesia? Well, this is worse and this is bad. And he said, this ain't no Netflix recommendations of tragedy. So it's just like, that does bother me as well. Like, if something moves you, because people get mad at celebrities all the time. A celebrity has a kid that has autism or, whatever, and they start a autism awareness thing, and people are like, you only care about autism because your kid has it. Yes. People who are affected by cancer or who lost loved ones to cancer tend to care about cancer more, or AIDS, or diabetes, or deaf, hard of hearing, whatever the case is, you tend to do that. So, I don't know. It's just sometimes, and I realize a lot of my life is lived on the internet. Sometimes the internet can be overwhelming. It's just like, it's an onslaught of information and feelings and yelling, and it just feels like, you feel like you can't disconnect from it. So, a lot of times, me and my family, we have no phones at the dinner table and stuff like that, just because we are like stuck to our phones and the stories of the day. And then the crazy part about all this, it'll all be over in a day or two, week at most. The stories of last week, we get so invigorated and angry or happy and sad, and tragedy comes, or heartbreak and sorrow or whatever, and the next thing you know, there's another thing, and you forgot about it. It's just, the world seems to be moving so fast, and news seems to be inundating us with all that stuff, and you're just like, it's like overload. So I absolutely believe you got to disconnect sometimes. Just unplug, turn your phone off, read a book, walk the beach, whatever. It's okay to have an experience in your life that you don't share with people. I probably do more of this, or need to do more of this, than even most people, but it's okay to just have an experience without people knowing what you're doing or where you're at. My dad is always getting on me about that. Like, Kevin, you don't have to share everything. Like, I get it. And then, like, I get it. Just go in peace and do something. And you don't have to tell everybody about everything. Just go have an experience, enjoy it with the people you're with, and remember and have a story to tell somebody else. You don't have to snap it. We live in a society, if I don't snap it or Instagram story it didn't happen. Twit pic or it didn't happen, snap it or it didn't happen, I met this person or whatever. And I get it. Like, that's part of the way we are in, but it has its advantages and its disadvantages. And, that's kind of all I have to say about that. I don't know what's going to happen, but I do have fantastic news unrelated to any of this. I just booked a venue in London. I'm about to get off this, and I'm really excited about that. So go on the internet and buy a ticket to it, because it'll be on there later. I just didn't want to share that. I did want to share that with y'all, because it's been a dream of mine to perform in London, and I just found a venue and I booked it, and I'm ecstatic. So maybe when y'all, live in the show, London, and you can come to the show, enjoy it and don't snap it. Just experience it. So anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts about this whole Keaton Jones thing and the consequences of going viral. It's your boy, KevOnStage. God bless you. God keep you. We'll see you at the conference.